Hey, so it's my fifth day in Lucca, I think. I've had 4 days of classes. The classes are great. I love my teacher. Her name is Agnese. She's super funny, lively, great at explaining things. So that part of the day, the 4 hours a day, has been great. And I feel that I am learning quite a bit very quickly, which is what I wanted. Um, the rest of the day has not been going so great. I had the disaster with the cooking class on Tuesday. And then yesterday, I signed up to go on a trip to a nearby city, an organized trip with the school. And it was right after class. It was only an hour after class. And so I had to like rush home and eat as fast as I could because I didn't know originally it was an hour after class. I thought it was later in the afternoon. So I managed to rush home. I get to the school just in time with like a few minutes to spare, and there's nobody there. And I look around, there's only a few teachers giving lessons, and I ask one of them, I'm like, I'm sorry for interrupting. Um, I'm here for the trip. Where is everyone? And she says, oh no, it leaves from the train station. Which it did say on the handout. It said it on the title, and I just missed it. And it's, you know, once again, I managed to miss one or misunderstand one small piece of information that just completely ruined my chance of doing something that I was very much looking forward to doing. So that was quite disappointing. In addition, I had kind of a weird experience yesterday, which it's still bothering me a little bit, to be honest, which is that I think the director of the school and the cooking teacher pulled me aside yesterday and said, oh, we're going to give you a refund for the class, which I was like, oh, that's so nice. But the way they did it was really weird, and I'm still not sure if it's a cultural thing, and I'm just sort of misinterpreting. But she says, oh, we could tell you were disturbed by the class, so we're going to give you a refund. And I said, oh, that's really kind. Since I didn't get to eat, I appreciate that. I wasn't expecting, a full refund, maybe a partial refund or a different class in substitution or something. And I said, that's very nice. And she looks at me and she says, it is very nice, since you did get to do the class, and it did say around 3 hours. And the way she said it was so rude. Honestly, I was taken aback. And I looked at her and I probably got a little defensive, and I was like, well, you said around 3 hours. It was 3 hours and 45 minutes before we even sat down to start eating anything at all. And it said around 3 hours, including lunch. She said, oh, no, no, no. It said around 3 hours plus the dinner. I was like, she said, all Italians would understand that it said plus dinner. No one else has had a problem with this. She was really rude about it. I said, okay, well, clearly to an American, if you say a class is going to be around 3 hours, it means 3 hours, 3 hours and 15 minutes. It doesn't mean almost four. And I said, it was almost 4 hours when we started eating. She says, oh, no, no. It was 3 hours and 45 minutes. Okay. That's not almost 4 hours. Apparently almost 4 hours is 4 hours and 15 minutes. Almost 3 hours is 3 hours and 45 minutes. It was so stupid. It was just like, she was splitting hairs to such an extent, and was really ungracious about doing something so gracious. And I felt really, bitter about it afterwards, honestly, because I have felt so bad already about the class and about my having to leave, and felt that I had made the wrong decision perhaps in leaving instead of trying to cancel things. And that, on top of getting the information, the news about how much my car was going to cost, I was just feeling really negative of myself. And then to come in the next morning, and that's the response I get is, oh, we're going to give you a refund because you made such a big deal out of it and you were so rude. Apparently, that's really the vibe that I got off of her. And again, I don't know if maybe it was a cultural difference, that I received it as rudeness. Maybe it wasn't intended that way. But it really made me feel bad. And then on top of that, the next day, that afternoon, I messed up the location of where the trip was leaving from, which was entirely me not noticing it on the handout. Well, I mean, everything else started from the school. So it's not totally insane that I would make that mistake. And so I was pretty upset. I felt really like a screw up. And I managed to spend the afternoon pretty well. I walked all over town. I walked outside of the city walls because Lucca essentially has like a center, which is completely surrounded by medieval city walls, which are very thick, like 20 feet thick, that has a park that runs around the whole city. And then outside of that, there's a lot of additional city. But most of the sort of tourist stuff is concentrated in here, as well as I think most of the older medieval buildings or not medieval, but most of the older buildings and shops. And so I've been spending most of my time in the center because getting outside of the city walls sort of limited ports to get out of it. And it's much easier to just stay inside because I keep getting myself lost. But anyway, so I walked outside of it, got very lost, didn't really find anything good. Came back in, got to know the city a little bit more. So it was still it ended up being a nice afternoon, and then I got to come home and make dinner and take it easy for a little bit. Today, who knows? My phone has stopped working again, except for when it's connected to internet, which makes me worried that despite the fact that I was told I would have 70 gigs of data, that wasn't true, and I've somehow run out of data already for roaming. And of course, the cell phone store is, not open during the afternoon when I have a break, so it's always fun to try and get any answers. But trying to make the best of it. I'm still struggling a little bit. Little by little, I'm learning the parts of the city that I like. It's definitely, for me, not as easy of a city to fall in love with, but I am finding the things that I enjoy about it. And the classes are great. I am learning a lot of Italian, and that is what I came here for. So I'm going to try and concentrate on that and try not be so bitter about the things that I missed. So hopefully each day we'll get a little bit better, and see how it goes. All right, till next time.